guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of a 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 4, Episode 1. I just love a new season. It gives me so much hope. It makes me remember why I love this show. So let's jump right into this episode. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share on any social media platforms you wish. So the first couple that we're gonna talk about is Ed and Rosemarie. Or Big Ed, as he named himself. Big Ed is a 54-year-old photographer from San Diego, California. He's got one child, one ex-wife, and a mother who is put together and was lovely as a 20-something. He didn't mention the fact that he is a little person. He's only 4'11", and I don't know if that makes him a little person or what exactly makes somebody a little person, but the man has no neck. Like, I don't know, does he really have a chin and then a chest, or is it because when he gains weight, he just gains weight in that area? Like, I don't know, but I'm just gonna mention that he has no neck. Ed has named himself Big Ed because he says that it helps his self-esteem because he's a little guy. He says that calling himself Big Ed is funny because he's not big. Ed owns a moped and a car. Ed's in love with Rosemarie, who is a 24-year-old girl from woman, let's call her woman. 24-year-old single mom from the Philippines. Ed's best friend's name is Teddy, who is a cute little fluffy white dog that he puts into a backpack and drives around on his moped when he's going to and fro. He hasn't been in a relationship for 28 years since he divorced his ex-wife. The reason why that marriage dissolved was because he cheated on his ex-wife. Yeah. So he's been unlucky in love ever since then. He also has a beautiful daughter named Tiffany who currently isn't talking to him because Tiffany found out that he was in love with Rosemarie and just got upset and was like, listen, I'm not dealing with it. His daughter is actually older than Rosemarie. They have a 30-year age gap. And I don't know why it didn't strike me as interesting before, but like, this is crazy. Like, there is a judgment with other people, like men in their 40s who get with girls in their 20s, but the fact that there's a full 30 years and he feels like Rosemarie is the love of his life. I don't understand these men. I don't understand these men. I think that somewhere along the line, they don't understand what the word love of the life means, or they just use it willy-nilly. Like, how is this person the love of your life? Ed has a couple of conditions, including a skin condition, which makes his skin super, super sensitive. So when he goes to visit her in the Philippines, he's gonna have to bring his own sheets and whatnot. Also, he's been dyeing his hair to look younger for Rosemarie. And so his scalp has been getting irritated. So he's been using a treatment of mayonnaise and a silk, like, oriental looking, can you say oriental? I mean, I guess oriental is a rug. He has like on a silk, like Asian inspired robe, which I hate it on men who aren't gay. And you know, people make choices to be on camera, dressed certain ways, and that is their business. Ed claims that he has spent $5,000 on shipping alone to send things to Rosemarie in her small town in the Philippines, and not one of the items has reached her yet. He has spent $5K in shipping. He's real good friends with Matt or Kevin or whatever his name was, the guy who worked at the UPS store. Just real good friends. And UPS was also like, P.S. we're gonna allow you to see our name so that we can get that plug. Thank you, 90 Day Fiancé. Listen, I sent something to Guatemala and the postal service told me it would get there in 6 days. It did not get there until a month later. And for 3 weeks of that month, the package was lost. Like, there was no tracking on it at all. So I can definitely understand what Ed is talking about, but to continuously spend money to send things that he doesn't know is actually making it to her house is ridiculous. He says that he sent her father a barbecue grill. He's sent a lot of different things, and I'm just like, my mind is blown. I mean, I understand why his daughter is annoyed with him. This is like really dumb. And I don't know how long he's been talking to Rosemarie, but it isn't long enough for him to be in love and to have all the shenanigans. Ed then goes to visit his mother, who I just thought she was a really well put together little classy lady, loved every single moment of it. She's an immigrant from Mexico, married a man in the Air Force, came to the US, and so she's a little skeptical of Rosemarie and this whole situation because she loves her little pony. That's her nickname for Ed. She loves him and she wants the best for him, and he's like, Mom, I really need to do this. Like, I really want to know more about Rosemarie, and I really think that she's the love of my life. And the mom's like, then go then. But like, take back that ring. Because he tells his mother that he purchased a ring for Rosemarie. She's like, nah, take it back. Go and see her. Go make sure this is legit. She's who she says she is, that she loves you just as much as you love her. But don't give her a ring. That's doing too much. And then she says, and you also need to call and talk to Tiffany. Okay, it's ridiculous that you and Tiffany don't have a relationship over this situation. Right now, Rosemarie is a hypothetical person. You guys should not be in a fight over this. And so he's like, okay, will you watch Teddy for me? And she's like, okay, Pony, I'll watch Teddy for you. So he Skypes Rosemarie. Rosemarie has a 4-year-old son named Prince. And I don't know what happened between her and Prince's father, but I don't think he's in the picture because she told Prince to call Ed daddy, which is too early in their relationship for her to ask her son to call him daddy. But she feels like Ed was sent to her by God. She's from a small town in the Philippines. She's got 4,000 friends on Facebook, and one of these suckers had to bite, had to take her and pull her out of the poverty that she's in. I honestly think the only reason Rosemarie is with this man is so that she can have a better life for herself, her son, and her family. And I'm not even gonna say, oh, she's a gold digger or oh, she's an opportunist. Like, it is part of the game. It's part of the game. Listen, this woman wants to come to the US for a better life for her and her son. She's gonna put up with whatever she needs to put up with. What does it matter if it isn't from her heart? What does it matter? She's washing your clothes, your dishes, and cooking your food and having sex with you. Like, whatever. It's a give and take. I hate this whole idea. Ed really just wants Rosemarie to love him for him, yet he's lied to her. He's lied to her about the color of his hair, about how tall he is, like all kinds of stuff. Because he's like, I want her to love me for me. But I'm like, you lying to her isn't gonna make her love you for you. He's concerned about how many friends she has on Facebook. And that leads me to believe that he plays Facebook as though it's real life. I personally don't add anybody to my Facebook. Like, it has enough people. It's good how it is. Once a year I go through and weed out the people that I don't care about because I don't even go on Facebook as it is. So for people to be worrying about how many friends you have on Facebook, like, who cares? It's too much to be worrying about it, right? That's just how I feel. I don't play on Facebook like that to really be concerned about how many friends somebody has on Facebook. He tries to ask her about that. He also tries to ask her about her past relationship, and she was like, oh, sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, what happened to the service? And she hangs up on him, and then he's like, see, this is what she does all the time. Yeah, but you're the fool who's telling everyone that she's the love of your life. So who's looking dumb? I have a feeling that him and Rosemarie's relationship is going to be the highlight of this season. And I have a feeling she's going to be a jerk. I have a feeling that we're going to feel sorry for Ed at some point, but not sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself in this situation. It is what it is. Because of her past and because of him not knowing that much about her, he has decided that he is going to make her have an STD test before they even get involved with each other. He's a germaphobe. He doesn't want any of her nasty germies, which is something you should do anyway, but I hope he's not Paul about it and just accusing her of sleeping with a bunch of different people. And also, is he gonna pay for this STD check? So I hope that he comes and he talks about it, treads on that subject lightly, and then is prepared to pay for that. All right, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is Avery and Ash. All right, I already predict that they're going to be the most boring couple. Really, I mean, he's from a small island off the coast of Africa somewhere. In my mind, when she said where it was, I automatically thought of Madagascar, but it's not Madagascar. I think it starts with an M or an A. Anyways, so he has emigrated to Australia, and he's in Australia. He cannot come to the US because he said that he had a bankruptcy. So she's like, ooh, 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 red flag, red flag. And I'm like, people have bankruptcies all the time. You don't necessarily know why they came about. It's something that happens, but that stopped his visa from getting into the US because depending on the place you're coming from, the US does have kind of visa barriers that say, if you don't have enough money that would make you want to go back to your country, then you'll most likely try to overstay your visa in the US. So I imagine that's what's holding him up from being able to come. But I honestly thought that Australia was one of those countries that they didn't even need to apply for a visa to get to the US. They could just fly over and at the customs, get a visa. But I guess I'm wrong. Ash is a relationship coach. And he talks to a lot of women. This makes Avery uncomfortable. They have been together for 9 months, and within those 9 months, they have broken up 3 different times because of social media behavior. It's so sad that couples have to base their relationship upon social media behavior. It is just so sad that these long distance foreign relationships have to be so much who's on your this, who's in your timeline, why this person asked this question, who this person, you know them. I'm just it's too much. It's too much. If somebody were to do that to me, I'd be like, I don't know who these people are. I'm sorry. I don't have any answers for you. They're people who follow me. My account is public. It's part of my business. Get out of my life. Leave me alone. Avery has 2 children, one of which is not allowed to be shown on the show because that's her ex-husband's prerogative to say no about the daughter being on the show. Then she has another child named Silver, who's 2 years old, running around the apartment, super cute. I guess she upped and moved somewhere to be with Silver's father, and then that didn't work out, so she like picked up and moved back to Seattle. So she's in Seattle right now. I believe she's 32 years old, and I'm not sure what she does. I know she's super into fitness though, and all about being healthy, which is kind of how she met Ash. I think we're going to see her just being extremely jealous and frustrated with him because he's not going to give her the things that she wants. And her friends both feel like he's telling her all the right things because he is a relationship coach and most of his clients are women, and so he just knows what to say. I don't see why he would be faking that. It's not like he can't have a prosperous life in Australia. I don't see him like trying to fake the funk to get to the US, but it is what it is. We'll see what's going to happen with them. Oh, Avery is a dental hygienist who's into cannabis. That's what she does. She makes her money by being a dental hygienist, and she also takes pictures of food that have cannabis in it. I imagine that they weren't actually able to show like the flower of the cannabis because it might be considered like a drug. So one of the issues between her and Ash is that one day a couple of months ago, he deleted her pictures off of his Instagram and changed his relationship status to like nothing or something. And that upset her. So like, girl, it seems like really shitty. It seems like really catty and boring and like, who cares? All right, the next couple that we're going to talk about is Geoffrey and Varya. I mean, Geoffrey, the Geoffrey. Geoffrey is a 41-year-old landlord from Knoxville, Tennessee, or right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. Girl, his opening segment of him chopping down a tree like Paul Bunyan, shirtless, I was like, okay, Geoffrey, okay. That's how you introduce a cast member to 90 Day Fiancé. Girl, I was like, oh. He's running around shirtless in the forest with his dogs, talking about he's a hands-on type of guy and he likes to get in there and do stuff. So, but also he's a good like business mind because he's a landlord and he just like makes money off of like people who live in buildings that he rents or have businesses and buildings he rents. Who knows exactly? But girl, I was like, okay, he's got 2 sons, Dakota and Pax, from his first marriage. Then he had a child from his second marriage. He actually had 2 children from his second marriage, and this is like a really sad story. So his child, the second child of his second marriage, died complications from having a seizure at 1.5 years. And I was just like heartbroken. His sons think that the reason why he's jumping into this relationship with Varya is because he's still reeling and mourning off of the loss of Chasm. And it just hurts me. It's just such a sad thing to see. And his marriage with the second wife dissolved. And I don't know why, but I imagine if you had a child die, that's gotta be very, very hard for the 2 people involved. And the wife even made it so that she wasn't involved in the show, nor the other son. So that part we're not going to be able to see. And I'm glad because I would like for him to keep that private. But we've got his other sons, Pax and Dakota, and they're just kind of worried about their dad. They really see him like kind of making rash decisions, like going out with Varya. So he has a little sit down with his friend Olga, who's Russian. And Olga's like, look, the fact that she even speaks English means that she's gunning to get out of Russia. Okay? There's like no reason for her to learn English in Russia. So she's definitely trying to, lure men to marry her so that she can leave Russia. If she already left a small town wherever outside of Moscow to move to Moscow, then like something's up. Olga is just giving it to him straight. Olga's like, she's gonna use you, then she's gonna get here and she's gonna hate being in the mountains because she's a city girl. Like, Olga has literally planned this whole thing out about how this is not gonna work. So we already know that there's gonna be some kind of upset when he gets to Russia and he's gonna be crying and he's gonna regret even seeing Varya, but that's never the end of the story with TLC. You know what I'm saying? That's just a little bit of a teaser to get us intrigued, and then after that, something completely different is gonna happen. So I am interested in seeing the story. For some reason, he kind of reminds me of like a male Darcy, just isn't as like messy, but we'll see. Oh my God, speaking of Darcy, Darcy wasn't in this episode, but honestly, Darcy has been on every single season of before the 90 days, right? Wasn't she in the first one where she had black hair and she went to Holland to see Jesse? And then her second season of it was when Jesse came to the US and she threw the shoe at him and didn't cut the steak on a bias. And then the third season was her and Tom last time before the 90 days. And now she's on season 4. Honestly, I can't get enough of Darcy. I cannot get enough of Darcy. I fucking love her. She is television gold and I need her to be on every single season. I need her to be at every single tell-all. I want to know what she's wearing, where she bought it. I want to see outfits. I love it. I went on a little tangent. So the last scene with Geoffrey is that he goes to meet some friends and the friends are just like, why are you going to Russia to find a girl? Like, you are totally a catch. You can find a girl here in the US. What's up? And then one of his friends, Mary, is like, why am I not good enough? She just goes ahead and puts it out there and I loved her for it. And apparently him and Mary have been trying to like hook up for a while now and it just never quite worked out. And I want to know why it hasn't worked out, because when he was talking about all the reasons why he loved Varya was because that she was goal oriented, she was a career woman, she was adventurous. I feel like Mary looks like all those things. I want to be married, but I also want to boast and feel real good about my marriage. And you're not the type of bitch that I could put on my Instagram. Okay, Mary? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not go with the girl who's obviously like super into you and already knows so much about you? Mary is like, I know about you. I don't understand why we are not in a relationship. Explain why you want some new. So it was a little bit of an awkward moment, but I was grateful for that moment. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Lisa and Usman. All right. Usman has put in 2 years of hard work on Lisa. I don't believe for 1 second he loves her. Now, I believed Angela and Michael, but I do not believe Usman and Lisa at all. And Lisa is doing too absolute much. Okay, Lisa is a 52-year-old woman from York, Pennsylvania. She does like in-home hospice work. She has one daughter that's 15 years old. She got out of a like abusive relationship 6 years prior, and she started talking to Usman 2 years ago, and he like has made her feel so good about herself. Girl, he wrote her a song, and it's like, listen, baby Lisa, I love you so much. I gotta do for you. Wait, gotta find it. I gotta find it. This needs to happen. They played this song in her segment like 2 or 3 times. So she's kikiing with her homegirl Nikki, right? So Nikki is one of her good Judies and she goes to get like her entire body waxed. She's like, and like all down there and everything. She wants it gone. She wants to be smooth as a baby because she says that Usman has been having protected sex all of his life. But when she gets there, she's gonna let him have unprotected sex. And that's gonna seal the deal. I don't know what her daughter thinks about this because we haven't gotten any word of what her daughter thinks, but I'm really interested because the daughter's like 15 years old, right? So she has to have some kind of like emotions or feeling about it. But the way Lisa talks about Usman, like it just kind of makes me happy. Like, I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's finally found somebody who loves her and makes her feel all the things. Because she's like, he takes care of her spiritually, emotionally, everything except for physically, because they aren't physically together. And when she goes to Nigeria, she's going to marry him. This is the longest con I've ever seen. He's some kind of like Nigerian hip hop star. And by way of her, he's going to come to the US and take over the US. And I'm like, no, you're not, sir. You could do what it is that you want to do and take over the US from Nigeria. There are plenty of Nigerian people like Davido and like other Nigerians. What's his name? Techno, is that his name? There are plenty of Nigerian artists who make money. And he's like, I want to be a hip hop artist. I'm like, bro, you aren't even doing hip hop as far as I see it. I mean, it sounds like that to me. The song he wrote for her, I'm trying to find it right now. So I'm just really interested in this whole like thing with her and Geoffrey, and I think she actually looks good, really good with her African attire on. But this whole thing, like, she's talking about Usman is faithful to her, and her homegirl Nikki is like, a man is a man. She's sitting down having milkshakes with Nikki, and Nikki is like, no, what are you gonna do when you go over there? What you about to do when you go over there? And she's like, well, we gonna get married. She's like, girl, it's too much, okay? This is too much. Lisa, baby, Soja boy. Come on, where's the song at? Baby girl, I'm in love with you. Hey, hey, hey. So great. I'm so happy for her. I want a man to write a song for me. Even though it really only said her name in the very beginning and it didn't sound like the track was that awesome. But you know, it is what it is. Homegirl Nikki is looking at her like, And Lisa's looking back like, and I'm just like, why are you on this man's social media asking him who every single girl is? Talking about you need to button up your social media. You have a girlfriend. And I'm just like, do you understand that he wants to be a celebrity? I don't know how you're trying to hold him back. Like, that's what happens when you're a celebrity. You don't delete comments or, I mean, I could see if he was responding to them with like emojis and shit, but he's not. She just doesn't want any girl on his timeline, which is super unrealistic. But she's been cheated on in the past, and so she's hyper vigilant for that kind of stuff. This seems like it's going to be a rocky relationship because I don't think that he's going to even roll over the way that Michael rolls over for Angela. He's like, look, you want this or no? I can find me another American. Let me get some water to talk about this last person. I feel so bad. The next person we're gonna talk about is Yolanda. Y'all, I feel so bad for Yolanda. Yolanda is a 51-year-old mother of 6 living in Las Vegas. She has recently lost over 150 pounds through diet and exercise, it would seem, and she considers herself a fighter. Mama was in a relationship with a man named Dwayne for 30 years, and for the last 6 of those 30 years, he was incarcerated and asked for his family not to come and visit him. Then he got kidney disease, and it sounds like the man died in prison. I don't know how long ago that was, but for the last 7 months, she's been talking to a catfish by the name of Williams, okay? Williams is a straight up catfish, and it's so sad because Yolanda isn't he don't sound, this man says that he's in the UK. I'm gonna go ahead and assume England. He hasn't FaceTimed her. He says that his camera is broke. What in the 2005 is that kind of nonsense? Your camera is broke? If your camera is broke on your phone, then your phone is basically useless, so you should get a new one. Especially living in the UK. Like, if this man were in South America, Central America, you know, somewhere where like maybe getting a phone isn't that easy or accessible, you know what I'm saying? Why on earth would a man from the UK walk around with a broken phone that you can't even take a picture with? You can't even do a FaceTime on. Like, it just is ridiculous. And especially the man that we're seeing, the man who clearly works out, who has a good job, obviously. Anybody who looks as fit as Williams has a good job, okay? Or lots of time and a good phone to take good pictures on. This whole situation is so shady, and it's just like so sad because Yolanda is so desperate, and this man sends her all the right emojis, and you know these women out here love emojis. They feel like that way you can tell, that's how you can tell a man really loves you, by the amount of emojis he sends you. Rebecca, I love you so much. Her daughter knows that she's getting catfished. They go out thrifting because they have a little business where they sell, you know, thrifted items online. And the daughter is just over it, but it's like, you know what, Mom, I'm gonna go with you. And she has to reveal to her 6 kids that the camera crew that's around her is not for the weight loss show that she said she was on initially, but it was because she's on 90 Day Fiancé and she's going to the UK to meet the love of her life, Williams. She says that Williams never asked her for money until he asked her for money for a flight over to the US. And she was a little taken aback by it, but then she decided, you know what? I'm not gonna give you money for you coming here. I'm gonna go there. And he agreed to that, knowing that he's a whole lying-ass catfish. So she gets him on the phone and he starts to talk. And that man sounds like he is from Africa. But he doesn't sound like an African who's been living in the UK. I mean, it was he's like, I'm very eager to meet you. And I'm like, I mean, I could be wrong, but it's definitely not the man in that picture, okay? Definitely isn't the man in the picture who she's talking to, who she's fallen head over heels for. And it just makes me so sad. And her kids are like, you know, she says that she thinks her kids are going to be against it because they still want her to love their dad and that they're still mourning the loss of their dad. And I'm like, nah, it's too soon and you've never met this guy. I'm pretty sure your kids are okay with you moving on, seeing as how you stayed faithful to a man who was in jail for the 6 years who you never saw. I'm pretty sure that they're kind of like, you know what, Mom deserves it. And I'm like, do all 6 of them live in that house? How big is that house? Girl, they are like sardine in that house. I mean, how you with somebody for 30 years and they go to jail? And then they gone for 6 years and they, I mean, it's rough. At least she has her kids around her to show her love and support, you know? That's the silver lining to this. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. We've got 3 other couples that we haven't met. We've got Darcy, we've got the LGBTQ couple, which is an American girl with an Australian girl, and then we've got an older man who's already been to Russia like 3 times to meet this girl, and like Caesar, the girl did not show up. So we're gonna see if he's gonna show up, if she's gonna show up this time around when he goes back to Russia to see her. So I think this is gonna be a pretty interesting season. I feel like Avery and Ash, as I said before, are going to be mad boring, so they might be the first couple I cut because it's a lot of couples to get through, you know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it on any social media platforms if you liked it. So let's have a kiki and a conversation down in the comments section. Go on ahead and check out these videos here and here. Follow me on Instagram. I've been putting up some old videos of mine, so if you wanted to see like what I'm doing on another social media platform, please go check it out on Instagram. Click these videos, you know, stay on YouTube, let YouTube know that, you know, I'm an influencer too. All right, remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Baby girl Lisa, hey. Baby girl Angie, hey. Angie baby, yeah. Lisa baby, way. We gonna do for you. We gonna love for you.